All right, here I am. I'm live. Not sure where my man Steve is, and Memphis is not feeling super well. But yeah, so I made the show Muscle Soreness Work Builds and Amplifiers. So starting with, obviously some of you guys also follow Memphis, and Memphis is fucking jacked. He's gigantic, and he's been working out like crazy. He's posted pictures of all his workouts. So I was going to talk to him a little bit about his enormous muscles and my little tiny puny muscles, and see what insight also Steve had. But in the meantime, I can talk a little bit about motherfucking muscles and shit and being sore. So, last week I talked about how I got back to training jujitsu. So I've been to class like 4 times. I'm having to be careful with my knee, working around it and stuff. There's Steve.
What
All right,
up?
started without you. Been on a couple minutes talking about talking. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I just fucking.
Oh,
barely
hold
got
on one
out.
second. I gotta fix my
A little light
image.
field up here.
There you are. So what's
Yeah, I just
cracking?
got home from work. So.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Memphis is not feeling well. Love you, baby. See you later. Um, Memphis not feeling well, and one of the subjects I wanted to talk about, because Memphis is gigantic and fucking super buffed, I was planning on talking about that, but I guess if he's not gonna be on, we can talk a little bit about it ourselves. Fuck are you eating? But yeah, so I have the trick is, right, you do your arm like this, and then you sneak your hand, like if I get low, right, you go like this and you push you go like that, you kind of push there it is. Yeah. The first time I saw that, my buddy George Henry did that. I probably told this story on the show before. We were like 14 years old, and
Yeah, it's about when
he
you
was
start
like,
doing that.
he was like, come over. He was like, come over. And I was like, well, I don't, like, my dad's not home. And we lived like 3.5 miles away. And that's not that far, but like, if somebody has a car, that's way fucking better, because it's like fucking 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And he's like, I'll see if my mom will drive over and pick you up. And I was like, okay. And then, like just a few minutes later, he comes walking up my walkway, and I see him knock on the door, and I fucking wander out, and we go walking over, and he's all giddy and smiley, and we're walking out, and his mom's not in the car. And I'm like, where's your mom? And he's like, she let me take the car. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. And so we're driving back to his house, and he's like taking the long ass way through town, and we pull up to this light next to these girls that we know that are like high school girls. They're 2-3 years older than us, and he's like, hey, what's up? Yeah. And he's like sitting there talking, and he's got his arm all like this, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like kind of looking at me like, and I'm all, we like drive away, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, bro, my arm, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God. It was so fucking funny, but it was fucking awesome. So I mean, and now it's been, 36 years. I get to use that goofy fucking trick once a year. So anyway, but yeah, I was telling the guys, I got back to training jiu-jitsu a little over a week ago, and I'm being pretty careful with my knee. There's still like a little bit of like synovial fluid around my knee. Sometimes it's almost kind of dissipated, so I'm trying not to put my knee on the fucking floor, or on the mats or anything while I'm training. So I'm training jiu-jitsu without putting my left knee on the floor at all. It's a little challenging to do that, but I'm pretty capable. I can work around things, but rolling a little bit harder each day, being a little more aggressive, trying to stick with mostly rolling with high level upper belts, and if I can, if they're also a high level upper belt and they're my weight or smaller, that way if at any point there's any awkward load of weight, it's not the extra weight of a big person, right?
Yeah.
But I'm fucking 5'4", 175, and I'm on the small side of the spectrum of people. Thankfully, we get like 25 to 35 people in class. So usually there's
75, bro.
What?
175?
Yeah, bro, I'm hella short.
You're thick.
Oh yeah, it's my thighs and my third leg. It's
Yeah,
all
but
that
being
weight.
5'4", 175, that's like 175, 180 for a person that's like 5'10", 5'11 is probably standard.
I got a little bit of tummy. When I lose the tummy, I'm like 160, 165. So, but I'm pretty fucking ripped at 165. 160, I'm fucking ripped. Now, when I met Allison, I got all the way down to like 154 in a jiu-jitsu gi, and I had an ultralight gi, so it was like 3.4 pounds. So I was under 150 butt naked. And I was fucking I was so fucking ripped. I had a fucking vein coming across my chest. I was like, but my face looked a little, but I was fucking ripped. Yeah. But but I'm a little squishy right now. I'm like a squishy 175. I'm like, shriveled up a little bit. Hardly any working out for fucking almost 4 months, right? I mean, I was doing like rehab stuff before the injury became a problem, right? I was doing rehab stuff that whole time and getting a little bit of working out. And I got back to training. I'd gone ride my bike a little bit and then went for that bike ride and meniscus folded over on itself. And then it was fucked for, I don't know, 6 weeks or so. And then I started doing a little bit of like rehab stuff, but I was hardly breaking a sweat unless I was doing the wild thing. That was the only time I was getting sweaty. That was my best cardio.
I hear you.
Yeah. When that's your whole, that's like your primary cardio, you're like, bro, I need to get more.
Well, when you judge like how much more you need to get in shape by your sexual performance.
Oh, I'm good for that, but I'm just saying that that's my primary cardio. Like, you know,
I'm thinking about like you see these guys that are, like doing fucking CrossFit or whatever, just fucking dudes that are doing a million pull-ups or just crazy ass shit. Like I saw this one funny fucking meme of this guy where it's like, what are you training for at the gym? And it shows him and he's just doing like all sex positions, but he's like fucking upside down and fucking all over the place. I'm like, you know what? I bet that dude probably does fuck, so it pays to be
serious fucking, ain't you? Yeah.
But it's some fun shit.
What's
up with work and builds and amplifiers? What's going on?
Yeah, I just said, I was like I was going to talk about Memphis and fucking like, what do you fucking weigh, gigantic motherfucker? And what is your fucking goddamn body mass index? And like, tell us what kind of fucking workouts he does. What's his plan? How much time do you spend at the gym each day? Like, I was curious about Memphis' shit. He's posted all these gigantic pictures of how fucking huge he is. And
well, I think some of those might have been from before, because I know he was huge when he was like when he was bodybuilding.
I see.
But
yeah.
I don't know, when he was here about a few weeks ago, he didn't seem like overly large. I mean, he's a big guy, but some of the pictures he just looks gigantic. It's like, I don't remember you being that big. You were
shit, yeah. But and then I was gonna talk a little bit about how fucking sore I am. Like, I am sore from getting back to training in ways that I know and I've been through, but I wasn't like, I didn't have it on my forecast. I've been tracking my knee so much that like I get to the academy and we do warm-ups and then like we're starting to do this drill and we're starting from like side control and your training partner has you in side control and he's working this choke using his lapel but you got to start with really heavy side control pressure. And I'm like, dude, and I'm fucking laying there waiting my buddy Walker and he's probably like 215, 220. And he's got good side control pressure even for his size. So it's like, it's pretty fucking uncomfortable there. And I'm like, I'm making noise. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, holy fuck, this is a lot of pressure. So, but anyway, it was like kind of funny. And then, getting back to a point where it's reasonable for me to be on my feet a reasonable part of the day and walking back and forth whenever I need to, and working with the guys, we're starting to get caught up on some of the projects that we're working on, and I'm able to help the guys make a better plan of attack on all the different things that they're working on throughout the day. Right now we got 3 guys working in the install bay. Well, 3.5, right? Because Tyson's kind of half in the bay. And I'm like, we got 3 cars we're working on, and it's like, all right, we're gonna do this here, and I'm like, Colt, you figure out who should be doing what with each of these things. We got to do all of this on this panel, on this vehicle, and this on that vehicle, and that on that vehicle, and we have, and this is the direction we're going with each 3 of these over the next series of days, and letting Colt kind of how to make it work. So that's kind of one of the things. And then we got a couple of very large scale builds coming in. We're going to have my buddy Mikey. You've met Mikey. Steve, he's going to drop off his Metris mid to late next week, right after he gets back from SEMA. And we're going to be doing 12-15s in that Metris. Should be a lot of fun. And then we are working on a Metris is a Mercedes minivan, medium-sized minivan, pretty fucking trick vehicle. It has a sliding door on each side. So our plan is, actually, I was showing you guys the box last week, I think, right? Let me see. I'll show you guys right now. So the box for the dog ride, the license plate says dog ride because his mom used to have show dogs, and they live in the city of Dogtown, California, and so his business is called Dogtown Concepts. And let me see here. Percent screen.
What year is it?
It's 16 or 18, something like that. So big acrylic window on each side. And you can see the ports.
Oh yeah, I remember. No,
pretty fucking sick, huh? And we'll do a orange color stain in this because he likes the color orange.
Sweet.
And we'll start out. We're gonna use our Alpha version 2 15s, and at some point in the future, he will upgrade to Neos. Very likely upgrade to 12 of the Neos.
And it's 4th order?
It's a 6th. If you look back at the back edge here, see the ports?
Yep.
Should be pretty fucking rowdy. This, let me see here. This piece right here simulates a I fucking designed a gang of shit. I designed a 1612s. I designed the different 1612, the whole fucking box.
Oh, if you wanted to, if you didn't like the
2412s in a 4th, we designed.
Yeah, do that.
Pretty sick, huh? But it was more of a weight thing why we went to the 1215s. But
looking at.
See if I can make it look a little more. There you go. Rendering.
Oh.
The idea of having some lights in it and shit,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be a lot of fun. We'll power initially. We'll use 6 of our 7100s. So the parameters of the box are really very similar to the Soulgasm as far as volumes and port information and things of that nature. And then the initial power will be, 6 of the 7100s. We'll wire at a 0.5 ohm. It should have plenty of rise, and then in the future we'll swap it out for 15Ks and Neos. So that's
fuck yeah.
Ricky Froggy. Yeah, that'd be fucking badass, man. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
asking Steve. I mean, if anybody that knows, it's my man Steve, and I got a pretty reasonable amount of experience listening to Steve's build and talking with Steve about it. I'm a fan of those woofers. I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah, it should be good. You have plenty of space. Do 418s.
Oh yeah, the 18s are coming, huh? Do they have a bigger coil?
No, the 18s are out.
Do they have a bigger coil, or are they still a 3-inch coil?
I have no idea. No idea. Probably different because it seems like every all their motors are a little bit different. It's crazy, but
yeah,
what they do. Shit. Need to talk them into opening a custom shop inside the headquarters.
All right. I'm gonna shut down that.
We need different coils, different code, all the crazy competitor shit, the non-mass produced stuff. That'd be dope if they had a department doing that. I know there's a few guys over there that do want to do it, but it's not as easy as like just doing it. 20 people have to say yes, and a budget and all that. Good stuff when it comes to running a massive company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7.5 cubic foot recommended ported box. And it's still 3-inch coil. It's essentially the same motor. I'm sure it has slight differences, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably do the 18, probably get away in like 2 1/4 cube sealed. Probably be plenty, maybe even smaller than that. 2 cubes sealed. Maybe. I'm at 1.75 with the 15. But it's shit ton of coil.
Did you shrink it already?
I shrunk it to 175.
You shrunk it to 175. Yeah. I mean, a 15 is almost. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it's a lot more cone area than a regular 15. Not quite as much as an 18, but I don't think it's quite in the middle either. It's probably a little closer to a regular round 15, but it's
almost in the middle. It's very close. It's like
so the 18,
something like
that. Leaning on the big side. It's like when people go, oh well, I got a DD 18, and you're like, well, or a DD 15. You're all that measures 17 fucking inches. It's like big. You're like that is. It's right between a fucking 15 and 18. So like, you can't just put it in, 1.5, 1.6 on the sealed side of a 4th and think it's the same as other 15. So like, go try to put it in the box. It's like, you're like, oh no. It's like, the same effect.
Why do you think they don't just call it a 16 or 17? Like JL Audio does that and they got away with it. Like,
right. Well, I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, Sundown has 11s and 9s, and they call them 8s and 10s, and I mean, for them, it's not that big of a deal, right? And it's not that big of a deal for me, except when I get people that are like, bro, I want to do 4 Z8s, and I'm all those. They're not 8s. They don't fit in the box. And they were like, could you just cut it out a little bit bigger? And you're like, no, it physically doesn't fit at all. It's closer to being a 10. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, look at the recommended parameters of a box. It's similar to most 10s because it's a lot closer to being a 10 than it is an 8 physically. And I'm like, and I think it's fucking badass. We make boxes for the Z8. I fucking think it's rad. I just think that people don't pay enough attention to the fact that it's a fucking 9, and I think they should call it a fucking 9. But like, like I've joked around a whole bunch, but to a point where I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do it, and I'm gonna like custom build some fucking badass oversized 8s. We'll call them Super 8s, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use my 10-inch basket. I'm like, fuck it, Super 8, bro. It's fucking 8. And I'm like, fuck, check out this big ass 8. Look how big and badass this 8 is compared to the Z8 and the DD 2508.
Look how much bigger it is than my own 8.
Look at that. Look how much bigger it is than a Relentless 8. And people are like, and people that, but here's the reality though, is that most people are like, look at that fucking 8. Look at it. Look at the 8. It's bigger. It's fucking bigger. And like, yep, it is. People are like, hey, but the problem is they're going to go, couldn't you put 4 of those? in your 4.8 box. And I'm going to go, no, bro. It's a fucking 10, dude. It's a joke.
It's a super 8.
It's a 10. It's a super 8. It's a little bigger, like roughly 22.5% bigger than an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost a 10. It's just a tiny bit exactly the same size as a fucking 10. Fuck.
You don't do any 10s, right?
What's crazy is that I have built 2. I hand built them both. They're pretty fucking badass. One with a Gately Alpha version 1 motor, and one with a not standard audio, an NSA private motor, 3-inch coil motors. They're both monsters, but yeah. So I have parts, I have baskets, and I've considered taking like a damaged or blown Relentless 8 and using that motor and building a pretty fucking badass 10 just to play with it and see what it's like. And yeah, that would be pretty rad. So, yeah. But hopefully early next year we will do a Shield 10 and possibly an Alpha 10 or maybe even a Relentless 10 that would be probably manufactured overseas, but shit, I would consider having FI build. So my plan is to reach a point where FI assembles my Neos, but I gotta like nail down exactly how I want them built. I keep on making tiny iteration changes to the product as time goes on. So like we're kind of still prototyping, but the fucking ones that we built are like the ones in the Ghillie. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I would want to change in those. I'm not changing shit. They're fucking badass. Let's go, And then the 18 and the 15, I think I have those worked out really well. I want to do the 12 a little more. I've only built 3 of the. I've only built 3 of the Relentless Neo 412s. They've all performed well, but I haven't got to play with them a whole lot yet, the way that I have with the 15s and the 18s, right? So, but once I get it down, then I'll probably do a larger production of them, and hopefully be able to adjust the pricing so it's just a little more affordable. You know what I mean? And at that rate, when I order more of the parts to get that at a better price rate, having Jim Brookman machine the motor parts. If I order a whole bunch more, I could probably get the price down a little bit, and maybe have FI assemble them. I think that would be really cool. They can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Ghillie has 18s in it, right?
Yes, it's 9 18s. Yep.
That's what I thought. Yep. Yeah. Well, shit. What do I got going on? Let me see here. What do I got going on? Got the Taco Festival coming up. Gonna go demo a little bit
there. They're gonna let you demo out there?
Yeah. They're a little more lenient this year. Putting the head unit in the Explorer.
What are you putting?
Putting one of the Kicker Marine head units in there.
That's pretty cool. I like those. It's like, like the JL1 that I use in a lot of the vehicles. There's similar function to it. Yeah.
Square screen, whatever. I'm going to have it to where Dan is 3D printing a case for it.
Nice.
And we're going to have a good amount of magnetism on the top and bottom. And then it's basically going to like snap to the dash when I'm in the car. And then when I'm giving demos, I'll be able to pull it off of there, and then it'll snap basically like to the side of the door. So, yeah, because I want to be able to play it while I'm driving it, and so I need to have a head unit in there because the Bluetooth doesn't work through all the steel. And I guess I could move the Bluetooth module up to the front. I didn't really think about that. Anyways,
Yeah, the Bluetooth thing is always a little sketch though. Like I'm always terrified that something's gonna fuck up with the Bluetooth. But I mean, I haven't seen that be an issue. Like Brett operates his off of Bluetooth stuff all the time with good success. It's just maybe older style shit used to fuck around sometimes. Yeah, like the Soulgasm, we built like a dash kit, and I 3D printed a structure that mounts the MM105. But if you just grab that thing and pull on the little lanyard that's attached to it, it'll pop out, and then you have it in your hand with the umbilical. Now it's kind of goofy because there's a big fucking cable sticking out of the dash, but it goes in the dash where a fucking head unit goes. Yeah. And you can operate it with it there, or you can pull the fucker out and have it. You can stand a few feet away from the truck, no problem. He can have the door opening and closing and giving multiple demos. So that's kind of fun. The way that we do that in the Soulgasm, and like we had made one version of it and like kind of fucked around, and then I made a better version of it, and now I think the last time I was in there, I was like, oh, I think I know how to make this even better again. So I need to like pull up that file and spend an hour or two changing the design, and then print all the parts again, and then have the guys spend a couple hours changing it all out again. Because it's, you know, one of those things that we can just keep making better and better and better and better all the fucking time. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So yep. That's kind of cool. I working on a bunch of new amplifiers. I want to do something smaller. I want to do like a 1200 to 1600 watt little badass monoblock. I think we've had a lot of opportunity to be able to sell a product like that. And then considering possibly something even bigger than the 15K. So that might be kind of fun.
Yeah. Crazy. How many people keep buying bigger and bigger amps?
Yeah, fucking customers that are like, all right, yeah, I got two Relentless Neo 15s, and I got a 15K on each one. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah. I mean, fucking rowdy. I'm like, good fucking Lord, it's just taking that. I'm like, they're like, I don't even know what to rate these subs at, but you're out of warranty, bitch. Like, I love you, dog, but goddamn, bro, like I didn't tell you to do that. He's like, yeah, fuck. Yep. Jason is like on the Wiener Talk tonight in the comments. Said something about my wang identifies as a 10 somewhere up here. All right, get it, son. Yeah. So, yep. I got Jerry Eastman over here in my office. He's saying hello to everybody. What's going on? You trying to get some Fiberall? Are the boys over there still? No, they're all gone. Yeah. Well, no, it's got to be closed. No, it's all good. I'm gonna run over to the install bay and get some gallons of Fiberall for Jerry. He's trying to reinforce the floor of his build so he doesn't blow his goddamn truck apart. I'll let you handle the crew for 5 minutes, Steve. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. You guys ready to sit in silence with me? Oh shit. Yeah, so I don't know who the hell's watching. Jason, Michael. You guys want to ask me some questions or something? I'm not really good at just blabbing away. Here's something that we could maybe talk about. I mean, there's 24 of you in here. I don't know if any of you guys are coming to the showdown or not. But I really would like to move the showdown back to the fall. I know it's kind of fucked up because it's moved from the fall to the spring, and it's been in the spring for the last. Well, fuck, it's moved a few times now because it was CES, and then I moved it to SEMA, and then now it's back to the spring, March. Which March is fine. I just it's just a bad time of the year for me at work. So it's a lot easier for me in September because I'm off August and September. So I don't have to work and I could just do that. That would be way doper. And I'd like to get Ayaska. I got to talk to Travis about this and see if it's a possibility. But, instead of having Ayaska finals in Northern California, What if we did it like at the showdown in September? I know it's still on the West Coast, but at least it's not all the way to the edge of the country. And then, I think it would make the finals bigger. I think it would also make the showdown bigger. But I don't know. Just thinking out my ass, maybe. Maybe I'll just keep the show in March and not change it. But for now, it's in March. Hopefully, most of you guys are coming. Yeah. What else? Trunk or treats coming up. I don't know if any of you guys are doing any of that stuff. Those are always fun. Yeah. I think both would do better, would benefit from each other. The only thing about finals is I think that they possibly have to have like an indoor venue, maybe just in case, like a range or some shit. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I have to talk to the boys and see. Did any of you guys go to Iasca West Coast finals? Was it inside? Was it outside? I don't even know. I know Craig Ball was there, but I didn't really ask him. But the time of year, I mean, it's like end of September. It's like perfect for the weather's great out here. I think it'd be a good time. There's no other shows besides finals. So 2 birds, 1 stone. No changes. So are you saying just keep it in March? Is that what you mean? I don't know. But what I was saying about the trunk or treats, that's kind of my next show, I think, with the Explorer, because that's before the taco show. Yeah, those are fun. Usually build like a haunted house. Well, we used to build a haunted house. I shouldn't say usually. And that was fun. Take a big couple of them black 10 by 20 canopies and then wrap it in black tarp and make a little maze in there. And you got a haunted house and little kids get scared to death. Fucking awesome. East Coast Finals was all indoor. Yes. Yeah, when I talk to the people out here, when I go there next, I'm gonna have to look at the event center, like the actual event center, because last year we were on the outside of it. I want to see what it's like inside, because if you could pull cars and stuff in there, it'd be dope to do. We could do the finals there. Like I said, we could do SQ and whatever on the inside, and do SPL on the outside, or however they usually do it. I had the taco show. Don't know what that means. You hate it? Because E and S are close to each other. I don't know why you would hate the taco show. The taco show is fucking awesome. It's like 25 taco vendors. Car show. And this year, they're getting a little more serious about the car audio. At least they're not putting us out in the corner. We're going to be more part of it. Oh, what's the taco show? Let me show you. Let me pull it up. Let me see. Las Vegas. No, wait. Vegas Taco Festival. Come on, Facebook. Well, it's none of those.
I'm back.
Hey, maybe I can find it here. Trying to find some info on this taco festival, but
Tacos on my mind. Tacos on my mind. I like tacos all the damn time. You ever seen that fucking tacos on my mind video on YouTube? It's like hella funny. It's like a music video.
no, never seen that.
It's a fucking dope ass song, bro.
Oh, here we go. I found it. I've seen the Corn song. Corn. Never seen that one? The little girl talking or singing about corn. Share, motherfucker. So yes, this is the taco festival. We did the showdown in conjunction with these guys one year, but we haven't done it except for the 1 year. But yeah, they're gonna have a little more car audio than usual. We're not gonna be stuck in the corner. We're gonna be a little more part of the show, I guess.
Okay.
Eat a shit ton of tacos. So I'm ready for it.
That's pretty cool. I think that year, okay, well, two things about that year for me is one, I was fucking exhausted from being at SEMA all week.
Yeah.
And I had fucking COVID. I didn't know I had COVID until I got home, but I was actively having symptoms of COVID fucking Saturday and Sunday, maybe even a little bit on Friday.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That was way too much doing the showdown and SEMA at the same time.
Bro, that was rough. You know, the following year we had such a great time at SEMA, and we were geared up for it way better than we were the year before. And I didn't get fucking COVID. You know what I mean? I was ready. And so once we landed at the showdown, and that was when we were at Whiskey Pete's, and it was like, and I had a great, and Saturday was good, but Sunday I was like, I want to go home. I was like, you know, but where when we were at that taco festival on the fucking Saturday, that was a really rough fucking day. I don't know if I've ever told the story on here before, but like, I was starving. And I felt kind of shitty. I didn't know why. I was like, I'm just exhausted. It's just been a long week. We've been out here. I've been sleeping. I've been drinking a little bit almost every day. And I'm like, it's just adding up. It's just adding up, you know? And me and Allie go to get food. And I got like fully fucking discriminated on. I was pissed. I was like trying really hard to keep my shit together because like we went up and we ordered some tacos from these people that were making tacos. And they didn't have a very big line. And that's why we ordered from them. And I ordered like 5 tacos and Allie ordered 3. And we're standing there and this young girl that was probably her early teens had taken our order and she spoke English well. And then there was probably like this grandma over here making tacos and like grandma is like making tacos and giving people their fucking tacos that ordered after us, after like 10 people after us. And I walk over and I'm all, hey, did you forget? And she's like, oh no. And like the young girl's like, oh shit. And she's like talking to the grandma. The grandmother's like got attitude. And I'm all, don't worry about it. I'm like, fucking forget it. I'm like, cause I'm gonna like start talking shit like an asshole. And there was a man in there. I was like, I will be in this dude's ass if I do anything. Right. And I'm like, keep it together. Fucking. And I'm like, never mind, we'll get something else. And Allie's like walks over, she's like, hey, just give me the tacos right now. Like, you know, and the young girl like goes over and the young girl wasn't making any talk. And the grandmother's like bitching at her and she's like, you're not giving the people their food, you know, like she's talking to her in Spanish and they're kind of going back and forth. And this woman is like, that woman doesn't want to give you your food. This woman says that to me, this like, and I'm all, I don't understand. And then she like gets out of line and walks away. And I'm like, and the young girl's like, I'm so sorry, here you go, and like gives us these fucked up looking tacos. And I'm like, I don't even want to fucking eat this. I was so annoyed. And then Allie was like, oh, you did so good at like not losing your shit with those people. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? They weren't gonna understand what I said. Yeah. You know? And I was like super frustrated. But I was like, I'm tired. I don't have bandwidth to fucking sit here and argue with people. This is stupid. And then like I ate like 2 of the fucking 5 tacos and I just fucking threw the rest of it away. And then we went back and we gave demos and we did some stuff. And then it was time for Allie to go and get her Lyft ride and go to the airport. And so I walk her out and there's the Lyft guy and she's walking over to the car and the guy's a little ways away, but like I'm still in the festival and I'm like standing there and give her a hug and kiss her goodbye. And I'm like, I'll see you in fucking 48 hours, babe. You know, I'm like,
did you freeze?
And she's walking away, and I'm like, go home. Fuck. Now she's gone. I'm like, oh no. I was like, it's okay. I'm at the show. This is fun. There's like my people are right over there, and they're playing bass, and like, you know, and And there was so many people that were at the showdown that were so happy to see us and see me and hang out with me and get a demo in the fucking bloodbath and all the shit that it was like I had a lot to be happy about, you know? So like, fucking, all right, let's fucking get a Coca-Cola and let's fucking, you know, regroup and let's get back to it and let's have a good rest of the day. And I went back and fucking gave demos and had fun. But, you know, and then I went out with John and some guys and had some drinks and watched some UFC fights and all this shit. But I was dragging my ass that whole Saturday. And then the Sunday, I don't know if you remember on Sunday, I was like, dude, I got a fucking headache, man. I'm going to go home. I was like, fuck. And I left. It's probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, long before the event was over. I was like, bro, I'm going to get out of here. And you were like, all right. I tell you didn't want me to leave just yet because there was people kind of bailing out a little bit early because some of the orgs did they not even show up on the Sunday, or did they just finish up early?
It's just like, you know, having a show in Vegas is tough because Sunday, like half the people show up because they get too fucked up on Saturday night and they're so excited to be in Vegas. So yeah, it's just the attendance on to Sunday is just always down. That's besides having it in Avi now. That did not happen this year because ain't nobody left. They're all there.
Right. The Avi's great. I mean, you know, like the times that we had it at Texas Station, that shit was fucking huge. Yeah. Like that was fucking bad. Those were, you know, definitely those two that when I was out there at Texas Station were 2 of my favorite car audio events in the fucking top 10 of events that I've attended. I've had, you know, Slam was really great a couple of years. Slam was also kind of mid a few years, but as far as my good time, right? I'm sure some of the versions of Slam that I was like, I didn't have that much fun this year. That kind of sucked. Were some people's fucking, it was their greatest fucking year. So, but I had a fucking really great time at the fucking showdown those 2 years at Texas Station. That was a fucking banger. And so then, you know, making the pivot a couple of years later and then doing it with SEMA made it hard. Like I bet the Taco Festival for some people, you know, the Taco Festival version of it may have been some people's fucking favorite. Maybe they had a great experience hanging out at the Taco.
A lot of the people loved the Taco Festival. The only part that they didn't like was the dirt, you know, the dustiness and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as like, I really liked the Taco. It was like the hardest one for me because it was going through like fresh into the divorce and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I remember
that was rough, but I really like the concept of having such a big festival and having the fucking tacos and the cars and just so much going on. You know, it's cool, but you know, maybe one day we'll kind of get to that size thing on our own, but more just strictly car stuff. You know, kind of like Slam. You know, it's still eventually the goal, and I think we'll possibly get there. But yeah, like you were saying, some people may have loved it, and some people.
Oh, there you are. You're back. Okay.
Oh, was I frozen?
You froze for a second. You're all. Hopefully, we get there.
No.
That was like, and I'm all. What the fuck just happened? Like,
yours did that earlier too. That's funny.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, shit. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, as far as the way things are growing, with the car audio shows, it's interesting, right? You know, the what is it? You know, it's really 10, 12 years ago that the demo, you know, cars were built to just kind of give people demos. They became rides, right? Yeah. These things are a fucking amusement park ride, right? So maybe, you know, giving somebody a demo is like, this is, you know, I've had lots of people, they're like, this is like way better than going to fucking Six Flags, dude. I go and I get in that truck and that truck and that car and that truck and that, you know, and they're fucking like, this is so fucking badass. And it's like fucking cool. And they're like, I love cars. I love beat. I love things that are like fucking roller coasters. This is cool as fuck, you know? And as the last handful of years have started to really transition with these fucking beautiful fucking builds being done. I mean, if we go back 10 fucking years, there were hardly anything that had lights and fucking beautiful stain and epoxies and paint work and all of this shit. It was rare to see anything that was really clean and really fucking badass wine. Now fucking everything, man. Like, these guys are fucking killing it. I'm like over here like, holy shit, I need to step up. Holy fuck, that shit looks dope.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
like,
tell you, like,
motherfucker in a month.
Dude, he's building some badass shit is fucking Heath Lay. He is just putting out some fucking incredible stuff, man.
Really?
Yeah, have you not seen his posts? Like
all the stuff, I'm seeing all the stuff he's posting. I've seen some stuff that looked pretty fun cool, but I haven't been like, holy fuck. I really liked Randall.
Did you see
Randall
the DC van the DC van that he fucking posted? That he finished?
I think so.
Let me see. Yeah, Heath is doing some really dope ass work.
Let me take a look.
See if I can find.
I saw a box he did recently that looked really fucking nice. He built some nice shit, that's for sure.
Well, here's
the box, the acrylic front and a bunch of lights tracing. That's pretty fucking dope. And it's got some mirror in it, and it's got some really cool laser stuff inside of that one.
Here, check this out. So I think this is the one I'm talking about here. Come on. This is one I hit.
That's pretty sick. I didn't see this one. This is pretty fucking dope. I'm looking at another one that just down the ass with some wood doors. Looks pretty clean.
The boss is Mother Mary. Catch me slipping through the concrete.
Like an amp in the door is fucking sick. That's pretty clean. I like that a lot. I like the lighting. I like that amp in the fucking door. That shit's dope.
Yeah, there's the DC van. I really want to find that one. I know you've had to have seen that.
I see one with some DC amps and some lights and shit in the back doors and a bunch of that looks pretty sick. It's like 4 big separate batteries. I think I'm seeing what you're talking about here. This is sick as fuck.
Possibly. Or like this one, yeah, right here. 16 DC Neo 18, 16 9Ks does 170 on music.
Good Lord. No, I have for sure not seen that. Look at that shit. That's what happened? I think I'm seeing the back of it here. Yeah, the amps are stacked. The back of it, it's got a shitload of lithium, fuckload of tweeters, bunch of 175.4s. It looks, yeah, that's fucking dope. That's dope as fuck. That's the back of it right there. I'm looking at that on my phone right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I dig that. That's really cool.
Okay. Look at the amps.
You know, funny, I haven't seen that, but I've seen like, there's like a box. Nice and clean. Yeah. That shit right there. That's sick as fuck.
Yeah, so Heath is
18s and a fourth, I guess.
12 18s and a fourth, I think.
Oh, 12 18s. I'm sorry.
12 18s, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking sick as fuck.
But yeah, there's, like you said, a lot of people are really starting to step up, the inside.
Become really beautiful. And getting incrementally louder. Everybody's making everything a little louder and a little louder, a little louder, but at the same time, like leaps and bounds more beautiful as well, and that I think we reached a point of loudness with the demo vehicles where they became a fucking ride, right? Like what I was saying, 10, 13 years ago, there's a little range. It was like 3 years there where these guys started building these.
It was kind of like one person. It was always at the shows. There was like 1 or 2 builds that were like, holy shit, like, dude, this guy's coming. He's bringing this.
Yeah.
There's only like one of
and there's a line of people that want to hear it, right? And then like the Sky High Barbecue was the first ever like demo only event, and that was 16, right?
Oh, like, what do you mean, like the first barbecue?
The first barbecue was the first time it was just like, we're just playing music. There's no competition. Yeah. It's just fucking demos only, right? Yeah. And really there was some kind of clean builds there, but nothing fucking beautiful. And all of them were like pretty fucking loud. I mean, comparatively, it was like, what the fuck is that? Right? It would blew everybody's fucking minds. But if you look at how loud those vehicles, they're barely touching a 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hardly any of them. If you were touching a fucking 60, you were like, holy fuck. Now there's like drivable, beautiful, small scale builds on medium power, doing a fucking 60 on music, giving demos for fucking 9 hours straight. And then
that's what I don't really understand where that leap came from. I don't know. I swear to God, they fucking recalibrated the meter because bigger scores means more people are interested, more money, and all that shit. Because, dude,
no, because
I sat in Carlos's BMW. Hold on, I sat in Carlos's BMW when he first broke a 60 in like 2017, and it was almost you couldn't fucking stand being in there. And you get in some of these cars now, it does a 60, and it's like, yeah, but it sure as fuck does not feel like what a 60 felt like.
We're acclimated to it now. Me and you are acclimated. Yeah, I put people in vehicles now, and they're like, what? No fucking way. Like people that have had beat. You know what I mean? Look at how people respond to these fucking rigs we have now. I don't think the meters are lower. I think they're the same. I just think that look at the subwoofers alone. Look at the subwoofers alone. The technology difference in 10 years. And then amplifiers. I mean, and then the batteries.
The amps and the batteries have came the furthest. I mean, subs are still relatively
still a long way. Still a long way. Like biggest, gnarliest woofer that I'd ever seen like 10 years ago is a DC level 6. And DC level 6 is fucking dope. It is no slouch for sure. They still producing that thing. But now we have these monstrous fucking Neos that are fucking nuts. And like the DC Neo is a big step beyond a level 6. It costs fucking twice as much.
Yeah.
And so not everybody can like go like, I can get a little tiny bit louder for a whole bunch more money. And some people are like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I have a whole bunch of money. And they do. And you're like, Jesus Christ, that guy's got fucking 9 Neos, 10, 12 Neos, like, where the fuck do you afford that? And they're like, I make hella money. I work my ass off and I've always had shitloads of money. I'm going to fuck around. And then these beautiful builds would bring them in. And then the knowledge that us builders attain to find all of that efficiency, working on all of these things, right? You go, okay, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you get a little bit of experience building a real sealed off wall. And you go, okay, cool. I built a couple of these things and I did this 4th order. And, you know what? I guess the math doesn't show that I should make this chamber smaller, but I'm gonna. And you do it. And you're like, oh, everything got louder. Like literally everything got fucking louder. It didn't lose something and gain something. It just all gained. You're like, why? I don't even know. Just do it, And so you start playing with it. And then you go, oh, we're going to build another one. And we're going to build another one. We're going to base it on the knowledge we attained on that other one. And now you come out the gate better or at the same level as the previous one you did. And then all of a sudden, there's a bunch of us that are fucking 24 builds in. How many fucking large scale builds has Heath Lay done? A fucking lot, dude. He's been at it for a minute and he's fucking badass. So every time he goes, and if you fucking build one and it goes backwards from the one that you had done previously, you're immediately going to figure out what you did wrong and you're going to get it back to that level or beyond. So it's a cumulative gain. It's all of us builders have gotten better. You didn't go backwards with your fucking build. You got louder, right?
Yeah.
And all of us builders got better. We got a little bit gnarlier subwoofers at an extreme financial inefficiency. Amplifiers, we are gaining shitloads more output and gaining efficiency.
Amps and batteries, you basically, let me think, in 2000, when I got back in, when I first built the Explorer and I did that 64, and that was in 2018-ish, and I had 16,000 watts, and that was like a good amount of power back then.
Oh, yeah.
Fuckers, like Greg Corbin just put 300,000 watts in his truck. So
That's
So
a
yeah,
lot.
it's the power. The power has just gone through the fucking roof. And the subs have definitely gotten, because the power's gotten so much more, the subs have had to gotten better because they just, they would just break. A sub from 5 years ago can't do what a sub now. It's not really that the motor, like a whole lot, the soft parts I think have gotten a lot better.
Right. I mean, the spider packs that we have,
Yeah.
the spider packs that we have, and we had these whole conversations with the company that made the spiders for us, and I'm like describing what I'm fucking doing and how strong they need to be, and how I'm like, look, I need these things to be strong enough to not rip apart under these massive loads. I'm gonna literally have 8,000 fucking watts on this woofer, and like. And I don't give a fuck if the coil can take it. It'll take it for a moment, but I need the spider to always be able to take it.
Yeah.
Because if you melt the coil, I won't warranty it for you. If you rip my spider apart, I'm gonna build you a new woofer, and that sucks ass for me. So spiders, make them, like, I know that that's possible for you to fucking make that strong enough. And then they go, okay, here's a bunch of shit, and you figure out how many of them you want, and then the next time you order them, you get that many of them fucking laminated together, and that makes it that much easier for you, so you don't have to fucking laminate them. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, all right, I want 6 all in one. And it's like, this fucking thing shows up, it's a goddamn 1/4 of an inch thick. I'm like, oh fuck, put it in, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's the shit. So so I have heard a jackhammer, Michael, and I've heard a jackhammer, and I would say that any fucking really badass, well engineered 4-inch coil, 18-inch fucking woofer will kick the shit out of a jackhammer no matter what. I only had one experience with the fucking jackhammer in a build that these guys were very, very, very proud of. And it was like, oh, okay, well, I would have just done a couple 15s. That would have been better back then. It was like, it was, but it could have, and the installer guys were pretty knowledgeable. And they were pretty good techs, they were, and they didn't slouch on the expense of the build when they did it. But it wasn't super impressive. And I've never had anybody go, yeah, dude, I fucking heard jackhammers and holy fuck, bro. It was amazing, So it was very fucking cool looking. It looked like a fucking transmission. It weighed fucking 400 and something pounds. There's a lot of really cool technology in there, but they never bothered to continue with the development, and that really could have gone somewhere. Now, mind you, if we're talking about subs that are that size and have that kind of weight, I've seen a woofer that FI built. You may have seen it before too, Michael. FI had this like 22 that had this, custom steel cut basket assembly and this massive fucking motor. And they were given demos with this passive radiator. They had this passive radiator that kind of paired with that big, I think it was a 21-inch sub and a 22-inch passive radiator. And they were tuning it actively in this vehicle at the showdown one of the years, and it was a single 21 with a passive radiator in this wall build, and it was fucking smashing. It was badass. I was like, that's fucking sick. And they were showing me how they were putting different weights on the passive radiator, and they were controlling it. It was really fucking cool. So yeah, we start talking about like an exotic custom sub. Now, something that I've talked about quite a bit is doing like a 21 or a 24-inch woofer using like one of our Relentless Neo 4 motors. And now that John has these beautiful fucking tooled 24-inch cones and surrounds, and if he has a reasonable enough inventory of those, I may acquire a few of those and build a couple 24s to see what we get, because that seems fucking awesome.
Oh, fuck. Nice being back at work, bro. Fucking A.
Oh yeah, you were off for 6 weeks?
10.
10 weeks.
Yeah. Actually, almost 12 because the last 2 weeks of July, I think I only worked one time. So basically, fucking 3 months. Brutal. Spent a lot of money without having any money coming in.
That's wild, bro.
I know. But, it's like I basically work 9 months of the year. And I make what most people like, what a good income would be for the whole year. So I can't complain.
Right, good.
I just don't go retarded while I'm making money so that the 3 months I'm not fucking making money that I have.
Yeah, you're not just sitting on your like it's you got to be able to fuck around and spend money when you have time off. Because if you're spending money when you're on, then all of a sudden you're kind of broke when you're off, and you're like, "What do I do now?" You're like, "I'm trapped in my house. I'm afraid to drive and use gas." And like you're like, I gotta turn the air conditioner up a little bit and let it be a little warmer in here because my electricity bill's a little. Like you start getting all,
Yeah, I ain't getting there.
Owning a business and having a series of employees, you are this. Like my bank account is like this conduit of money, and you just see massive amounts of money going out and like massive amounts of money coming in, and you're like, I have no idea if we're making any money or not. Like I don't even know. Are we making money? And I like, I'm like checking with Allie, and I'm like, hey, how are we doing? Are we doing good? Like and she's like, I don't know. Like, like it's important that one of us knows. Like, I'm like, all right, then okay, like we were talking about buying things. Let's not buy anything. It's like fuck. And this every single year, this time of year has been the slowest for us. Like it's kind of funny how certain businesses they go, oh well, this is my slow season. Well, this is the slowest it gets for Gately Audio is October. I don't know why. It used to be February years ago when I just had the install bay, because there was somewhere along the way it was like, and what I figured it was is that no matter how much you spoiled your girl, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever the fuck it was, if you also at the same time are spending thousands of dollars on your speakers and shit on yourself in February, then you're a dickbag. Right? That was kind of how I chalked it up, because I would be slow as fuck in February every year. That was many years ago. For the last 5 or 6 years, it's mainly been October. And I get people now that sometimes it'll be like February and the couple will come in and they're like, for Valentine's Day, we decided to put subwoofers in our truck. And I'm like, okay. And it's like them together. And I'm like, I don't understand how that makes any sense, but let's fucking go, bro. You're the man, and so I don't know, something romantic about these fucking subwoofers these days. I don't know what we're doing so well, but here we go. But yeah, so yeah, slowish time every year has been October, our slowest month for the last several years in a row. And it's not super duper fucking slow. We sold 2 fucking big badass custom boxes today, which is kind of exciting.
What do you think's your busiest month? Do you know your busiest month?
March or April, I think.
Like
because it's just tax time and everybody goes crazy at tax time. And I think that even people that aren't really being impacted by the tax time are being influenced by the tax time. You know what I mean? Like some people, like they're like business owners. If anything, they're paying out their fucking ass. They're like, oh yeah, I had to pay fucking $35,000. And they're like, yeah, you just have to pay that? And they're like, well, I made sure I held on to a bunch of money because I knew I was gonna have to pay. But I pay that, and I'm gonna buy this shit from you. And it's like, because
it would almost make more sense for those people to come in December and dump a bunch of money to not pay taxes on it. Bill it to the company. Go spend $30,000 with you, and that's $30,000 less that they have to fucking pay taxes on. You know what I'm saying? You got to burn some money at the end of the year. What are you waiting to?
I mean, some people do that. I had a customer. I had a customer, and he owned a multi-million-dollar business making catalytic converter protective shields, so that they were much harder to steal.
Okay.
Right. He created one, and he was like hand making them for Priuses, and was like fucking murdering. Dude, he was like, I'm making fucking $5,000 a day, bro. I was like, oh my god, you need help? Like, what are you? And he's like, dude, I'm just he's like lining them up. There's like 8 Priuses outside. He's like, just wait. They pull him in, and he fucking bolts him in. It's like $1,600, and he's like, I got fucking like 400 into making these things, and I fucking pay my employees to help me, and we're just fucking bolting these things in. Bam, 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 bam. And it was fuck that. And then he started manufacturing them and selling them to exhaust places across the fucking country. And then they started making a whole bunch of other shit. And then like he got like purchased by this company and all this shit. And he's like, he owns a business, but he's like contracted by this massive fucking $1 billion auto parts supplier. And he's like making a bunch of money. And he like showed up with a brand new Roush F-250. It was fucking sick. He's like, yeah, dude, I had to pull up to the dealership and just buy one. And it was like December 29th. And he was like, yeah, they told me I bet. It's like, you can either go buy a couple of trucks. I'm like, so you bought 2 trucks? He's like, yeah. He's like, or you could fucking pay $100 and something thousand, but it's better if it's a truck because you can write off a truck better than you can a fucking thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, so I spent like 155 and I only had to pay like 15. But if I would have, you
would have had to pay taxes on
trucks, I would have had to pay like 120. And he's like, so I spent an extra 45,000 to be able to have 2 fucking trucks. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a fucking win, bro. He's like, yeah, it's like, And so then he fucking had us put some subs and shit in it because he's like, I can't drive around with this thing stock. And so we put one of our boxes in and off he went. But I don't know that he could have written off our shit, but he told me that he bought fucking trucks because of that. But and I get, it's funny with regards to that. We talk about that, and I feel like a little cringe because people talk about like buying things like, yeah, it's a write-off. You can write it off. I'm like, I have all the write-offs I ever need. I don't make enough money that I have a surplus of money that makes it so that I have to pay a bunch of tax at the end. I am still on a fine line of barely fucking making it most of the time, bro. I'm like, yeah. I'm a really good fucking speaker box builder, and I'm good with my install bay, and I'm great with my customer service. Businessman making money, I'm only okay. Like I'm not fucking rolling in dough over here like ever. So
well, I mean, dude, plus you have you have a good amount of employees, man, and you have 2 buildings, and that's what you have the stock, and you have your office across the way. Like I imagine your rent's not cheap, and
actually it's pretty fucking good here. Power bill gets me sometimes when the guys are really doing a lot. That gets a little pricey.
So like what I mean, I know it's some places. So like, because I've been looking with Dan to open a small shop out here, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And we're looking, and Vegas commercial space is not cheap.
No,
it's like, and it's showing me on like Marketplace and stuff, like places in California, places that are closed for some reason. It does that. And like California, fucking a place with like 3 lifts, 4 fucking garage doors, an office is like $1,100 a month. In Vegas, it's $1.50 a square foot if you're fucking lucky. So you get like an 800 square foot nothing for fucking.
Sure not paying $1,100 a month. I'm paying fucking 5 times that. But
I'm just saying, like it's crazy shit like that.
I'm in Sacramento, and Sacramento is much cheaper than the Bay Area, but still higher than everywhere else other than like LA. So it's like there's like the Bay and there's LA, and they're pretty goddamn expensive to have any shop space. And then Sacramento is like it's third, but it's clearly much less expensive. And then the rest of the state is quite a bit less expensive, but still every bit of California is more expensive than most places. But Vegas shop space is very expensive, probably similar-ish to like the Bay Area and stuff, unless you're a little ways out. But if you're a little ways out, then you're a little fucking ways out, you know?
And Dan explained to me why, and it makes total sense, is because the commercial space here gets picked up so fast because of our tax laws, our state tax laws. So the amount of money a business will save by having their business here, if they have to pay $1,000 extra a month for their shop, it's meaningless when they get to save $20,000 a year in taxes.
Yeah, so, and the other thing is workers' comp insurance. Me and John me and John Sr., John's dad, had a whole conversation about it. And it's like, I mean, I'm workers' comp, and I've never had a claim, like zero, right?
Yeah.
And it's fucking 5 years now, and we're paying $25,000-$30,000 a year in workers' comp insurance.
That's
Whereas
crazy.
in Nevada, John, I think they paid like $8,000 for the whole fucking year. And John has a few more employees than we do. Obviously, we're doing more dangerous shit here, but not fucking 4 times as much, you know? So that's our biggest fucking bummer here is the workers' comp insurance. I think it's a scam. Holy fuck, they're just and that money comes directly out of my ass. That is like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously I have to pass that down to my fucking customers, right? But you know,
You know,
I don't have a giant pile of money. You want a fucking building, brother? I love you, but like, you know, somewhere along the way, if I had a bunch of money to buy a piece of land and have my own building, I would have to make a choice of being like, all right, I can only do 2 employees or 3 employees. And I'd have to scale back my business a whole bunch, but I might make a whole lot more money avoiding all of that if I had my own building on a piece of land.
Well, see, the thing is too, is I don't know how, when you're doing certain things, they may not let you because of what you're doing, like business license wise and all that shit. They may not let you even do that on your property, especially in California. You know,
if you were just a dude that's solo in his garage and he's got like a homie that comes over and you fucking pay him cash and you're fucking working on shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, then you're skating the little fucking fine line over here. And that's what I used to do back when I was in my fucking driveway in 2000. You know what I mean? 25 fucking years ago. And I look back at 25 years ago when Gately Audio started, right? In 99, I got my business license. 2000, I moved into my house and I was building speaker boxes in my garage. I had acrylic speaker boxes stacked up in like along a wall in my living room. And in one of my roommates, I was like, hey, I'll give you fucking $50 a month less rent. I think his rent was $350 a month, $50 less. So it's only $300 a month. If you let me take this wall right here and stack it with speaker boxes in your room. And he's like, cool. I'm all, thanks, bro. And it was like, and my house had boxes all over my living room. You know, it had our L couch and our big screen TV and then the couch was like this and my desk was facing the opposite of the TV and I'd be like this working and I'd like watch TV with everybody and I'd be communicating with people on Term Pro and Sound Domain and the Realm of Excursion and all of those forums, you know, and like, hey man, fucking, you want to trade those 2 Crystal Audio fucking CMP 15s for an all acrylic box for your fucking Rockford 10s or 12s or whatever the fuck you got? And they're like, fuck man, I've always wanted one of those. And I got these subs just sitting here and I'd like get them and then I'd like sell those subs, build a box for them and sell them in the box. And I'd hustle and shit, put shit on eBay and, you know, and like, if I didn't make any money, that wasn't that big of a deal. If I made enough money to pay my fucking rent in my house and feed myself, then I was great. Now, like, it's like, oh boy, like we got to really make some shit fucking happen around here. You start getting a little bit like this, with regards to my knee being fucked up, right? I mean, you know how I work, Steve. When you hang around here, I'm a minimum of 10 hours a day. Well, when my knee was fucked up, there was some days that I was only good for 4 or 6 hours. I'd be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. This is stupid. I shouldn't even be here at all, let alone busting my ass for fucking 4 or 5 fucking hours of like struggling. And so as I've gotten back up to speed over the last couple of weeks, really 2 to 3 weeks, we're starting to get a little more caught up on some of the projects. A little more money's coming in, a little better. We're getting on top of things. And there was a couple projects that I kind of missed out on because people were a little anxious to get something going, you know. And one of my buddies was like, and he, you know, we've done a few different builds for him over the years, but he was like, man, I got this other little truck. I just want to kind of knock it out. And I was like, well, I can't get to it right yet. And he's like, I'm gonna have the other guys do it. And then these other guys did it. And then he's like, shouldn't have waited. I should have waited. Can you fix this? It's like, okay. And it's like, all right. But he's like, damn, you know.
So when you opened, have you always been building, installing in cars the whole time you've had a shop, or was there like
When I had a shop, yes. So
Okay.
when
So like Gately Audio, where you like the shop you're at now, is always built cars as well. It's never just like where you're only doing speaker boxes and then
no,
it's all,
I almost stopped doing installs in 2019.
okay.
Like
Because
we
that's
were,
what I thought. Because
yeah.
I think when we first kind of, we met maybe a little before that, but right around that time, I think I remember like you weren't doing installs, or you were very,
I
very,
was, I
but
was, I
very
was doing when I first met you, which was like 2017, which was the second barbecue, is when I
okay.
met you the first time. And we talked for a bit. I think I talked to Hammy a bit more, but I was hanging
Yeah.
out with you guys in the booth, bullshitting for I don't know, 45 minutes or so. The first time I met you, but when we really hung out the first time was 2018 Slam.
Yeah, or yeah, 2017 Surf a little bit. That was the year I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah,
that was the Mickey Dow year.
yeah,
But yeah, but I think, but I like I was saying, because I remember like you were just about to say that you were thinking about almost not doing installs. I think I
right.
kind of remember
Yeah,
that.
once when I was manufacturing the boxes at Eddie's cabinet shop,
Right.
I had a couple installs in the bay, and it'd be like bust my ass at Eddie's and build boxes all day. And I'm like on my feet, assembling boxes, staining, running the CNC machine, designing shit at the computer. I'm like full tilt, fucking 6 o'clock in the morning until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when finally it's like the last of anybody working at Eddie's is leaving and it's time to fucking go. And I would go to my shop and then crawl around in the fucking car and run wires and fucking build shit and fucking laying fucking fiberglass and Bondo and fabricating and doing a custom install, and then go home at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and be like fucking dead, right? And as we transitioned to doing the box building at my shop here, I started telling people, no, we weren't doing installs any longer. Like we're not, because it would be like me and Kyle, and it was like me and Kyle and Anthony and Buddy were building all of the boxes, and John's like, I want 100 boxes as soon as I can get them. And I got people ordering like a motherfucker online, and like we're just bombarded. We're trying to figure this out, how to do it efficiently,
Yeah.
and installs were a problem. We make great money when you do an install, but like, and there was one customer, I fucking told him, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And then he was like, dude, like, I know that, the last truck you did for me, it was like $4,000 in labor. Like, if I tell you that I'm totally okay with spending $6,000, no problem. Like, and if it has to be more, that's fine. I don't want anybody else to do this shit. And it had been a customer that I had worked with in the past. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm set aside these days. I'm like, this Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be at Eddie's cutting parts. I'm going to be here, but I'm not going to be building. I'm going to work on this install and then hopefully finish it over the weekend. And then I'm going to hand this shit back to him on Monday. And like, I'll work, 3 or 4 days hard on just this install. And I got a little help from Kyle and even Eddie came and helped me out a bit, and we crushed it. We knocked it out. It was like fucking badass. Customer was happy as a motherfucker, happy to pay a premium. And it was like, okay, so I went from my shop rate being 120 an hour to being 150 an hour, because that was kind of a simple difference. And I just go, this is what I'm gonna do. And I raised the shop rate to make it worth my while. And then it was like, a week and a half later, there's another person. They're buying a custom box from us, and we're doing this, and we got to do some of the fabrication. And it's like, we got to do the fucking install. It's like, it's like, it's fucking dumb to not do it. And that was when I started really pressuring Colt to come back and work for me, because that's what he would want to do. Colt didn't like building boxes. He did it a little bit when he needed to, but he would much rather be doing a whole combination of doing the wires and fabbing the doors and fabbing the pillars, and and working with me, being my hands for a fabrication process. So, but when I created Gately Audio and I was at home, I was just building acrylic boxes and a little bit of wood boxes. I'd spray them with bed liner, or I'd carpet them, and I would do, I was building boxes for Boss wakeboard towers, all acrylic boxes and a bunch of sealed boxes for Kicker L7s. What's up, Junior? I'm on the show right now, but you're welcome to come in. Yeah, sure. You should be able to. It should be on. So, yep. That was my primary thing. But I had worked as an installer before, so every once in a while, I would get one of these customers that would find me in the forums and be like, "Oh shit, you're in Sac. I'm in the Bay, or I'm also in the Sacramento area, or relatively local." They'd be like, "Dude, will you do my audio system for me?" And I'd be like, "I'm going to do it in my driveway," And they'd be like, "Fucking great, that's the best," And so I did a bunch of installs in my driveway, not a ton, but I did it, And then when I moved to this shop space, it was because I was selling a lot less of the boxes. So I started doing installs here, and I was doing pretty big badass custom installs. It was kind of this funny thing. Like, remember when Dan, your boy, was like, "Hey, if I opened a fucking shop, how many people?" And I responded, "If you build it, they will come." Yeah. What I mean is, fucking Dan's a badass. He does excellent fucking install work. So the fact that he exists and has a shop and able to do the work will encourage people to want that work to be done.
Well, yeah, he's already got, like, dude, when he's not at the shop doing their shit, he's usually doing other shit on the side. So he's got jobs lined up, like, from here to fucking forever. So we just need to get a space and, like, kind of let him loose type thing, and he knows, he's been managing and running shops forever. So he already knows how to price out an install correctly. And he's gonna have to teach me a lot of this shit, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of the sales, I believe, I'm gonna be helping Dan as much as I can, but majority of the shit Dan knows how to do better than I do. But a lot of the wiring and all that shit, that's whatever, I can do all that shit. But when it comes to fab,
absolutely. Work with the customers, having the aesthetic. You have a great aesthetic vision. You have great ideas on how you like things to get done. So you'll be working with Dan and with the customer, and you guys will be like putting ideas together that will create that customer base. Because you know what the fuck you're doing and you have integrity, you will create your own customer base. That's what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy shit, aside from like one motherfucker in the last fucking 15 years, I don't think anybody's bitching about the work and service that they've gotten from Gately Audio. One fucking lying loser fucking says I'm an asshole, and that's fine. But if you look at the internet, we're fucking ripping everybody off and we're a scam and blah, blah, blah. But the people that actually spend money with us, they're very, very, very happy, and they bring in many other people. And I expect you would have the same fucking results. It's crazy. And there's probably a dozen fucking shops in this area that are getting install work simply because they are there, and some of these people don't know any better, because there's a lot of fucking hack jobs. A lot. And it's the same down there in fucking Vegas too. You see people are like, "What in the fuck, man?"
We have what's crazy about Vegas, for how big of a city it is, we have very few fucking car audio shops. Very few. And the ones that we do have, like, they're either just like a Audio Express type thing that's like a chain.
Right.
Or you'll have like those, Mexican style shops that just have 19 million things in inventory, and they're getting their box built by somebody else over here, and nobody really knows what the fuck's going on. People in and out, like, those are the two kind of shops we have. So,
right.
Like,
and there's no high-end big badass fabricators.
No, like there's like John Webb's here. He won Installer of the Year one year, but he's like by appointment only, and he's by himself. His cars take years. It's like, it's not anything anybody really wants to deal with. So it's ripe. Like, I mean, we definitely need to do this. It's
and you got a really good bass head community there. I mean, fucking great. really.
Yeah, we have enough, and then the car community here is also pretty
Huge.
deep,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, all of them, pretty much have some sort of system, and a lot of them do like to do like Jay and Kai. They're the one that put your acrylic box with the
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
spent like 35, 40 grand, like I told you last week, on their system, just
Yep.
doing all high-end SQ stuff. And the people that they've been using to do installs, they're not happy with. They've had to go from one to another, and it's like, well, fuck, dude, if me and Dan were around, we would have just done it. It would have been done right the first time. Like, I won't let anything leave the shop just not buttoned up perfect, because it's just the way I am.
The one guy they were working with seemed to be putting forth a real effort, and he knew what he was talking about. I don't know if that was the second guy or not, but the one guy that they were working with, he seemed pretty fucking cool when I talked to him. So.
Yeah, I think the second guy, the guy they're using now, is definitely better. But there's still certain things, like when I look at it, I don't know if they're watching. Hopefully they're not watching. Well, even if they're watching, it doesn't matter. Like they put the amp in the trunk lid, which it's cool. Like when it opens up, there's an amp there.
Yeah.
But just something very simple as the wires going to the amp. Yeah, it's got some what's that stuff, Tech Flex and stuff on it, but it's not like hidden enough for me.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah.
you went through all this work of like,
good concept, but it wasn't executed as accurately as it could have been. And
no, I mean,
that's one of those things where, like, around here, there are times where the guys are working on stuff, and it'll be like, I was thinking about redoing that, and I'd be like, go ahead, and
just
they're
little
like,
tiny details.
and what that means is like, hey, I've spent 2 hours doing this. I'm gonna spend 2 hours doing it again. Those are not billable to the customer. Like I already did it once. I'm not gonna charge the customer again to redo it. So there are a lot of projects where I'm like, okay, the guys worked on it for 21 hours, but really only 14 or 16 of them are actually billable, because I'm not going to charge my customers to go fucking backwards, right? And it sucks because some projects it's just better to do something again, but we have to. It's almost like, hey, do a better job of planning on the front end, bud. Like, don't be hasty and I did it, and I wish it was better, and you fucking throw it away and start over. You can't just keep on billing the customer. You got to think that through. If you got to undo it for 2 hours and do it again for another hour, you should have thought it through for another hour better and build the customer for that one, and then. You know what I mean? And then you get one more actual billable hour total, and you have a better end result for the customer. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
And that's like the where we start getting too much of a roll. You start getting a little, we're chucking. We did this, I did that, and they're like, yeah, remember you said you kind of were thinking about building the amp rack like that, and I'm like, yeah, okay. How are we gonna service any of that? And they get like, I don't know. I didn't think that far. I'm like, well, you built it already. Like, you spent an hour fucking with that, bud. What are we doing? They're like, well, if we flip this around and we put that one there and that one there, and they're like, oh, I got to remake that part. I'm like, go ahead, I guess.
Well, it seems like you've been able to keep a lot of the same guys at your shop for as long as I've known. I mean, like, for a while now.
I've only had a few different employees kind of go in and out, but
like,
yeah.
How hard was it to find good people? Like, I don't know what it's going to be like here in Vegas, but it seems like the dudes you found, like, they're talented and they're like into audio. Like, I don't know how many of those people exist here in Vegas.
Well, I think the biggest thing is making it a fun environment and paying them very reasonably and working around things for them. Tyson. He works 4 days a week. I let him work 4/10 because he has a 2-year-old baby, and daycare on Fridays is a nightmare, right? I don't know if this is kind of a standard thing across the nation, apparently, but having daycare on Fridays is very difficult. And so he was like, man, do you think we're good? And I'm like, Yep, we sure can. Like, let's fucking do it. You can work 410s as long as you're awesome for 410s. I'll let you keep working 410s. Yeah, here.
Makes sense.
Go record all the shit. I saw copies.
Are you going to be here for a little while longer?
Yeah.
You have lightning with you?
Yep.
I need to look under the seat of your truck to see if it's the same as a regular Ford truck. I'm confident it is, but I want to study it real quick because if a customer wants to buy a box and he has a lightning, but he's worried that the floor is thicker because of the battery and blah, blah, blah. All right, I'll be over there in a minute.
Yeah, I'll leave it on lock too.
Awesome. Thank you. So, Colt has been one of my best friends for 24 years, right? And then I've known Tyson since he was like 9 or 10 years old because I would race RC cars with his dad. And then, and Tyson bought a box from me in like 2016 when he was like, fucking 20 and his brother came in with him. And then Tyson did some detail stuff on a couple of vehicles for me because he just did that on the side. And I knew he was doing his own install stuff, but I knew he worked his ass off. He had like a little detail business and he was working for FedEx. And so when I needed good employees, I contacted him. What's funny is I contacted Tyson and I contacted my buddy Jerry. And I knew they both were smart dudes that worked really hard and they had a lot of friends because they're cool fucking people. And I was like, hey, bud, like, do you know anybody that would be a good employee for me? Like, I'm fucking trying to hire. I need more help over here. And Tyson was like, shit, first Tyson said, my brother. And that's Gavin, who works behind me right here every day. And Tyson was working at a pizza place as like an assistant manager. He was doing okay there, Yeah. And but he was kind of scared to make the move, so he kind of held off for a minute. And after like 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, Tyson called me back and was like, "Could I come and work in the evenings?" And I was like, "I got to create like a little mini evening part-time swing shift thing, right?" And it's like, "Well, I'm here late most of the time anyway, so fuck it. You want to come down at like 2, 3, or 4 o'clock after you get off work and work for 3 or 5 hours, whatever you." And Tyson was fucking badass, man. And I'm like, this is great. And then after a little while, he talks, he's like, dude, you should come and work with me over here. It's fucking great. And then Gavin came on full time. Gavin started out doing what everybody starts out doing, wrapping boxes and then building boxes. And now he's worked his way to being like a fucking super badass office tech. He talks. Almost every customer that places an order talks to Gavin somewhere along the way. And he does a lot of stuff on the website. He does most of the shipping. He's in a lot of the videos loading subs and boxes. And I mean, just he handles shit. Like whatever the fuck I need. He helps me with the 3D printers. He helps me with the laser. He's fucking amazing. And then my buddy Jerry that I also asked, he was like, me. And I was like, well, I don't know what you could do. I need people on the shop floor. And he was like, just let me come in and work with you in the office and let me make sales. And it worked out really good for, I don't know, it was like 5 months with Jerry. But eventually I had to part ways, but we learned a lot from Jerry. He was a brilliant dude. It was funny. It was like, I couldn't think of people. I'm like going through my phone and I'm like, who in here would know someone that would be a good fit for me, and so, and then my buddy Gary that works for us now, he hit me up and was like, hey man, let me know if you need any help over there or anything. And I thought he was talking about a friend of his or something. I knew he'd worked for the city and stuff. And I knew he didn't really need to work. He's reasonably financially capable on a pretty high level. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Yeah. I was like, it was like a couple days later, I was like, who is it? And he's like, it's me. And I was like, oh, well, you're fucking hired. Come on down. I knew he was super capable. He had done a pretty big wall build that I had seen in his vehicle before. I knew he was a base head. I knew he's a hardworking dude. I know he's not a fucking dummy. And I knew he'd come to work every day. And I was like, I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was. I thought it was like, I thought you were going to send your buddy down to interview or something. You're fucking hired. Come on down. You can start on Monday. And then I like told everybody, I'm like, I hired my friend Gary. And everybody's like, whoa, what do you mean? We don't even need him. All done. No. I'm like, no, we're going to be okay. I'm like, it's going to be fine. Everybody's like, I'm like, look, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm super confident it's going to work. You got to and everybody's like, okay. And like, fucking Gary showed up and they were like, all right, he's great. I'm like, yeah, I told you, So
Is Gary still there?
Gary's still here. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's Colt and Tyson and Gavin and Anthony and Gary. And Toby is like the main box builder guy. He's actually one of the instructors at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy where I train. And he's been my friend for, fucking 15 years now. And he's a little bit part-time because he still teaches classes. He does private lessons. So we work around his schedule a little bit. So he kind of comes and goes, which makes things a little difficult sometimes. And so his responsibility level is like he builds boxes, right? And he's capable of doing more, but he's not capable of doing more because we have to work around all of he makes decent money building the boxes, but he makes a shitload more when he teaches a jiu-jitsu class, right? So it's like, and I'd hate to take that away from somebody, be like, nope, you need to be in the fucking mirror, and it's like, yeah, that's fucking kind of lame.
I think I met him too. He does more of the work overnight and stuff, right? Comes in and builds the boxes.
He was doing some super early mornings and some late nights, and that was causing all kinds of problems with his fucking marriage and everything else. So now it's like we work around, we're open from about 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. most days. Yeah. And so as long as he's working within that range, he can come in and work. So makes that a little easier. And then we have a young man named Adrian, and he starts at about like 10 a.m. and we have him finish up at around 4 or 6, depending on how much work we have. He's a little younger, and I guess he's not as driven to fucking really push, and so we have to limit his responsibilities as well. So there's obviously working a little bit around things that people need, and limitations of people's ability to have certain responsibilities in working within people's skill sets. So that's where.
Oh, did you freeze?
Overall, these 5 years of business, having employees, me learning. What's that?
Oh, you froze for me.
I froze for you, and you froze for me right after.
No.
So all these years of owning a business and being an employer, learning a little bit how to work best with some employees. We've had a couple of bad guys go in and out.
You know who this is?
Carpet Instructions.
I don't know. But do you know who Jeremy Smithson is?
I don't think so.
No, me neither.
So Jeremy, like carpeting a box. So if you go to the Gately Audio YouTube channel, there's a killer video on how to carpet a sub box. I'm sure it'll apply very well to many other panels, but it is an excellent video. I'm super fucking good at carpeting a sub box, and if you watch that video, you'll see some really excellent tricks that I teach. It's not a terribly long video. It's super entertaining. Check it out. So go to the Gately Audio YouTube channel. The video is I think it's from 2018. So go a little ways back, and I think it's only 10 or 15 minutes long. So there's a great carpeting a sub box instruction video. So check that out. Jeremy Smithson. Thanks for jumping in and watching our show. Fucking A. So employees and I'm learning to be a pretty good fucking employer. I think I'm good. I think all my guys fucking love me and love working here. Allison is awesome, and she's so great with people that I emulate some of her ways of doing things. And obviously she's here, and she's also, an employer to all these guys, and she makes things flow really smoothly for them and helps them with everything. And that's really, there's no big secret to it. There's a little bit of luck on my side. We've had a couple of bad fucking employees. We had this dude that was like, this is a weird place for somebody to come in and kind of try to be a big bully, because most of us are trained fucking fighters. You're not going to punk me because you're 6'2" and 220 pounds. And he's over here huffing and puffing on Colt, throwing shit in the garbage can all rough. And Colt's like, what are you fucking doing, dude? Yeah. Like, and I'm like, Colt's like, hey man, check out the video. This dude was being super aggressive. Like, he was huffing and puffing on me. And I'm like, what'd you say? He was like, you can go the fuck home. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. And you were like, you're all done for today. Like, and I'm like, this guy's like all huffing and puffing like he wants to pick a fight with Colt. And I'm like, Colt's a trained fighter. You get your freaking ass beat. But Colt kept his shit together. He kept his cool because he's He's a fucking, you know, senior employee here at the shop. Like, yeah, this dude was kind of getting a little wacky. I'm like, oh man. And, you know, we had to let that guy go, obviously based on that and a couple other things. Grab his dick and twist it. Strangely enough, Colt knows those guys that made that video personally. Those guys are from Northern California. Those grab a dick and twist it guys. I've never met them personally, but Colt used to hang out with them, I guess. And you know, and I had a very close friend of mine that was working here, and he was great when he was great, but he is very emotional person, and he did a good job most of the time, but he had a couple of days where he was off and he did like some really shitty work. He was fucking boxes up because he was just so distracted, and it kind of sucked, and I had to fire him, and it was a pretty rough moment for me and Allie, and he was super upset, and he felt like, you know, and he didn't quite get it because he didn't quite understand. He's always had trouble being an employee anywhere, you know. And we had to, you know, you got to give somebody a shot. And I, you know, I told him going in, hey, look, if it doesn't work out, like, you can't be mad at me personally, you know. And he's like, oh, I didn't fuck that up that bad. I'm like, you did. I like, we cut it up and threw it away, bro. Like, I'm the judge of if it's good enough, bud. It was tough, you know. And you know, and Buddy, who is thankfully still a very close friend of mine. I fucking love Buddy Williams. And but Buddy and I had it out a couple times around here. He was being a pretty rough employee for me. And you know, when we had to part ways on that, it was a little bumpy, but we were okay. You know, we were immediately okay. But in the moment, we weren't that okay, you know. And so I mean, it's not all perfect, and not every employee has been easy. But I think maybe I've had a little bit of luck on my side with a few of these guys, and I think I've done a good job. I think I'm a pretty fucking good person, and I think in the moments where I'm an asshole that some people can't deal with, I think a lot of people can, and I think a lot of people, and then even more people, actually appreciate it. They're like, look, I can count on him to get in my ass and tell me when I'm wrong or what I fucked up, and he won't bullshit me if just because he loves me. He won't be a yes man. He'll tell you how the fuck it is, and I will. Like, if you're ever a fucking dick, Steve, I'm gonna do it. You're a fucking dick. It's bullshit. It's not that fucking cool, you know? And I can take it if I'm wrong. If somebody tells me, hey man, that's fucked up. I don't like that, you know? And I can analyze that, you know? So.
Yeah, I've had to work with some like really close friends before. You know, we've been friends forever, and then we worked together, and it caused problems because, you know, like one buddy, he's just like terrible work ethic, and I hated working with him because it'd always be like, dude, like, I feel like I'm fucking doing everything, and you're just always slacking off, and kind of ruined our relationship while he worked there, you know.
Yeah.
And if we would have continued working together, we probably would not have been friends because we just took our jobs completely differently. Like, I take any job I've ever had pretty seriously because it like reflects on me, is the way I've always looked at it. And you know, he always looked at it like, whatever, it's just a fucking
Yeah, it's just a fucking job. Yeah. And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, every job I've ever had, the owners and shit are like, oh my God, dude, you're fucking amazing. And I'm like, thanks, man. I just, you know, like, I don't know.
Doing what you paid me for.
Sure the shit gets done. Where I really learned to work really hard and do a really good job was when I was building speaker boxes for people in my buddy Gary's lawn when I was fucking 19 years old, putting myself through school, because I had to do all the work. I had to fucking talk to the customer. I had to sell make the deal, and we're going to build a box for you and fucking $400 and fucking, and I'd be like, cool, I'm going to use, you know, $150, $200 of material, and I'm gonna charge this guy fucking $400. I'm gonna pay my buddy Gary fucking $60 for letting me work in his lawn and be at his house and fucking do this shit, and I'm gonna make $140. And if I'm working on 2 or 3 boxes at a time, and I build a couple of them, 2, 3, and it's like 2, 3 days, and all of a sudden I make $600, $700 in a week cash, and I can pay my fucking $800 of my rent in my apartment, and I can put fuel in my truck, and I can pay for my schooling shit, and I go to fucking my evening classes, and that was when I really learned to become a great employee. And then by the time I was done with school and I went and got a job, it was like whatever work needed to be done, I just made sure all the work got done. You know, it was like I went to work for Cyphergen and we're building the spectrometers, and it would be like, and my boss was like, you can work all the fucking overtime you want. And I'd be like, cool. And I'd be like, all right, it's 4:30. It's time for people to go home. And if I work another hour or so, I can actually complete this whole machine and get it pumping. I could turn on the vacuum pumps and get this thing pumping down. And if it starts pumping down tonight, then this thing can be operational by the end of tomorrow. And that puts it 2 fucking days ahead. If I just, or a full day ahead, if I just stay a couple hours, I'd be like, hey, I was thinking about staying 2 or so hours and getting this thing to the point where I run the pumps. My boss is like, fucking go for it, bud. You know, you're making $22.50 an hour if you're doing that. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in there by myself. I'm dancing around, I get the radio going. Like, my boss shows up the next day, all the tools are put away, everything's awesome. This machine's pumping like a motherfucker. He's like, you're the fucking best, man. And I'm like, I don't get it. How does that make me a hero? I made an extra $45. I waited until traffic was gone before I drove home. And what the fuck was I going to do anyway? Go home and smoke a bunch of weed and spend $45? It was like, this is a fucking no-brainer for me. I was like, and you know, and like, you know, and it was my girlfriend at the time's stepdad. His name was Mike. Mike passed away a handful of years ago. He was a good friend of mine all the way until he was gone. And he's a fucking brilliant dude. I learned a ton of shit from this guy. He'd be like, I wish everybody thought like you, man. I don't know. It was like, I don't know, until I don't want to be there anymore, I'm going to be kicking that. And a big sign of like, oh, it's just a job. Then I'm on my way out. I already know. My foot is out the door. I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore, you know? And that was where, you know, learning, you know, and, you know, and I think I've said this before on the show probably a few times. It was like, when I realized I was dealing with bullshit at the job that I had, you know, I was working at Boss Wakeboard Towers. I left the biotech company and I went to go work for Boss because it was getting all corporate-y and people were full of shit at the biotech company. And so I went to another small startup company, which was Boss Wakeboard Towers. And then one of the owners was a slime bag. He was a fucking lying, stealing, absolute fucking piece of shit. Like, manipulating fucking information and lying to customers' faces and lying to distributor and manufacturers' fucking faces, and like, you know, similar to some of the people in our fucking industry over here that I choose not to fuck with. So I was like, I'm gonna leave this shit. I'm like, I'm fucking gonna go. I'm gonna go start my own business. That way I don't have to put up with anybody else's shit. I literally said that series of words and I meant it like it was real. Now, mind you, if you start your own business, you have to put up with everybody else's shit. Everybody else's shit. Every person that you think is your friend and they're a fucking liar or some fucking guy that, you know, is a colleague in business over there that's fucking stealing from people and committing fraud. You're going to deal with that shit. Here we are. Every fucking grumpy fucking moment that your homie has, whether it's sweet and innocent or fucking not, it's just he's a dick that day. It's a fucking problem for you. Every customer. I had there was a moment that was like one of the most clear and distinct moments of that series of words being false is the I don't have to put up with anybody's shit, and you indeed have to put up with everybody else's shit. One of my material suppliers, this must have been 2018. And I was here at the shop, and I had mostly been at Eddie's, and it was midday, and it was raining like a motherfucker, and I had a ton of shit to do, and I knew I was going to be here at the shop until fucking late. And I was in the middle of busting my ass, and the dude showed up and was dropping off a little bit of stuff, and, you know, picking up a fucking check to pay for some stuff that he dropped off. And this dude went in talking about his divorce and his like wife not letting him see his kid, and what's going on, and his fucking neighbor's wife was this piece of shit bitch that was all involved in the fucking divorce, and she was awful, and like, and he's gone, and he's a really nice guy, you know, he's my homie, really, and he's you know, and so I'm his friend, but like, he captured me at work, you know, and I'm standing outside of his truck. He's in his truck. It's raining. I'm standing at his window. It's raining on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like 25 minutes goes by. I'm fucking soaked. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, I got another shirt in my truck. I'll grab that when we're done. I'm like, chat, and he's going, and I gotta hear him out. He's a good guy, and he's like, and like he gets done, and I'm like, you know, hey bro, you know, I'm rooting for you, and I hope everything works out. And I wasn't a dick to him at all, and some of you guys might be like, you're a dick now. I'm like, no, not really. Actually, as a matter of fact, I would, if I saw him and we were bullshitting, I'd be like, dude, you remember that time when you were in that shit, bro? Like, you captured me in a rainstorm and talked my ear out for 30 minutes, and I was fucking soaked to the bone, and I was in the middle of working a 17-hour day, and you smoked 30 minutes of it, bitching about your wife that you cheated on, and she cheated on you, and you guys kept getting back together, and then you finally separated, and you were sad. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, but anyway, but I couldn't be like, bro, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? That would have been fucked up. Later on, after the fact, once shit's all said and done, a couple months later, I was like, yeah, no, I remember, bro. You know, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I drove away. I felt like a piece of shit. And I was like, it's okay, bro. That's what I'm here for. I'm your friend. I'm gonna hear you out. You know, just mind you, you took my 17-hour day and turned it into a 17-and-a-half-hour day, and 30 minutes of it was listen to my buddy that cheated on his bitch complain about being in the middle of a divorce. So, and he's like, fuck. I'm like, it's all good, but you have to put up with everybody else's shit if you are a fucking business owner. Whoever the fuck, whatever customer pulls up, whatever employee doesn't feel good, or fucking cat got sick, or you fucking like, you know, oh dude, my car got wrecked, or I had to go to they had a flat, and you're like, man, it's crazy how all of that comes out of work time for a lot of people, right? Like, I gotta get, you know, my window got broken in my car, so I gotta go and get my window replaced right now. I actually did that to my boss one day. I was like, hey, my window got busted out of my car. I made a phone call. These guys can do the window like right now. Their shop is right over there around the corner. If I can jam over there now. And he's like, why can't they come here? And I'm like, because both of their trucks are out doing windows way the fuck out. If I go do the window now, it's Friday, it's at their location, I'll actually come back and keep working. And he's like, okay. All right, go ahead and do it. He's like, fuck. But then he's like, yeah, dude. And then another dude had like an issue with his car, and he wanted to fucking leave to go deal with his car because you fucking go and do it. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, you know, anyway, but yeah. So, and you guys watch and listen to me talk about what it's like to be a fucking employer or own a fucking business. You know, some of it's, and you know, obviously this is good for you because you're getting ready to make that jump somewhere along the way. You're going to get some helpers in there eventually. And I think it'll be fucking great. I think you guys will be good. You're grown ass fucking men. You got a ton of fucking experience. And it's one of these things. It's like, it doesn't super duper have to work. And because it doesn't have to, it'll be easy to make it work well. You know, there's no terrifying urgency. You'll be able to fucking kick ass and make dope ass shit. And because you're building all the dope ass shit you're going to be able to build, it's going to just bring more and more fucking people, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if we like should both try to keep doing what we're doing and then do all this shop stuff like in our off hours.
No, he should be there 100%, and you should keep doing what you're doing. And you almost should always keep doing what you're doing and working around it, unless it is just fucking massive. But the reality is that I don't know any fucking installers that make as much money as you.
Well, I don't know, man. It seems like the shops make some money.
Yeah, but a lot of them don't. I know shop. I don't make that much fucking money. I own a goddamn Gately Audio. Fucking, we make amps and subs and hand build subs. We manufacture boxes. We got installs day, and I don't make that much money. I don't make as much money as you. Probably me and Allie together make less money than just you. No one would I know.
No, made like 70 grand at the golf course last year. I make that much money.
I thought you were a little better than that. But if me and Allie together make 100K, then that's a fucking miracle. The likelihood of that is
like between everything I do, yeah, it's like right around that 100 mark. But
okay, so that's maybe where I get. So we're probably about on the same level, but it's
yeah,
Allie
it's just grinding a bunch of other things. You know, obviously the showdown, and then shitting on them, and make some money here, doing other oddball shit, just whatever other stuff comes up. Maybe make a $5,000 to $10,000 extra dollars throughout the year doing other shit. So just kind of all that. But I don't want to get into the business of
because he's primary fabricator. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would say that he should make the jump 100% all the way, because there'll be a lot of potential customers that are going to come with him that he wouldn't be able to have if he didn't make the jump. Also just being there and open when you're supposed to be there and open. That's a fucking huge thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having open hours and being there for them, you got to fucking do that shit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it'll just have to be. I guess we'll have to just see how it goes. I mean, if it ends up being really successful and we are doing, and I can do that instead. I mean, I'd much rather do that. I've been doing this forever. Like, tired of it. Ready for something new.
Well, I would love to see you guys fucking do that shit, and I'd love to see you guys have a whole bunch of fucking Gately fucking products in that motherfucker too, because that sounds great.
Yeah, that's another thing we're gonna have to talk to manufacturers and John.
Yeah.
See how much stuff John is willing to just kind of front us to kind of get us going at the start. Maybe get us some wire and some other things just to kind of get the shop going. We paid off relatively quickly, but the more we could get helped out by our friends, the easier it'll be to kind of get the ball rolling. Because coming out with actually stocking a shop, I don't have $30,000 or $40,000 to drop on inventory. So yeah, just basic stuff. But wire, like a wire rack, RCAs, fucking basic RCA or basic install crap. As far as tools and shit go,
we work out something where I set you up with a truck box display. And it's like, all right, there's your whole display, and you got a Ford, a Chevy, and a Dodge, and maybe even a couple of different model Chevy, a couple of different model Ford, a couple of different model Dodge, and there they are, and you're responsible to, purchase the replacement right away when you sell one, and then after a period of time, then you pay off that unit, and then. Yeah. And then we go from there, kind of a thing. I'm down to make something like that happen with you. I've never done that before with any other dealer, but I've never helped my homeboy start his own shop. And then I'm always right the fuck here with any insight on how things should go, and with regards to making sales and dealing with customers. Obviously, you guys got a ton of experience, but I also have a shitload. And so if you get into a little realm of how to deal with a certain thing that you are a little in the gray area of, and you're like, hey, ever dealt with anything like this? I'm fucking down to give you, my opinion on how I would address that, So
yeah. I mean, if I can make the same money in running a shop, I'd much more enjoy that, and it'd be doing something I love, and that's what
you love golfing, motherfucker.
No, yeah, but I don't like being someone's bitch all day, and that's what it is when you're a caddy. I'm like, I have these super rich people, and I have to do everything they tell me to do. I have to ask them, what do you need? It's not that they treat me like a peon or anything like that, but I'm there to help them, so I basically am their slave. Like I am their bitch. You only do this for so long to where you just kind of like, all right, I'm 43 years old. I just don't want to do this anymore. the money's good, it's easy, whatever, blah blah blah. But it's the feeling of like, I'm a man, you're
Be
a
your
man.
own bitch. You be punking yourself. You're like, all right, wire this fucking truck up right now,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
tired. My fingers hurt from doing all this shit all day. I can be on a golf course right now.
Yeah, that could happen too. I might be like, you know what, Dan, this was fun, but I can't do this anymore. I'm going back to the golf course. That might also happen. Who fucking knows?
Me and Steve Mead were talking, right? Steve, Steve just put that video of the last moment when he hit the lights and closed down the doors and walked out of the old shop, right? In that video, when they're loading up the forklift, you see me drive away. I drive away fucking 10 minutes before Steve does that last little bit of the thing. I'd been there with the guys, and we were talking a little bit, and it was about 8 months before he got that shop space that
The new one or the old one?
the old one. So,
Okay.
so going back 15, 16 years, right?
Yeah.
I was having a rough day over here, right? I had a couple of employees, and they had just fucked up everything they had worked on for a day and a half, and I was fucking pissed, right? And I was super upset, and I'm like, and they were just like, oh shit, oh man, gee whiz, like, do, and they're just like, oh dude, and they fucking dude goes over and he's like changing the radio station and cleaning his tools and shit, and putting some stuff away, and I'm like, this is not a big deal. This isn't a big deal. The customer's not going to get his car tomorrow when he wants it. The car that's coming in behind it isn't coming in. We're not going to get fucking paid. And like, you guys don't give a fuck. Like, this is like, I just have to fucking fix all this shit. I was super fucking mad, right? And one of the guys was like, kind of snapping, like, oh shit. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, and the other guy's like, dude, like, shit gets fucked up, bro. And I was like, all right, you can fucking leave. I'm done with you today. You can get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
you clearly aren't interested in any of this shit. So, like, we're going to see what it's like without you. All you've done in the last fucking 11 hours is go backwards on this fucking project. I'm going to undo this whole fucking thing and fix it. You can go the fuck home. You can take this whole fucking thing apart and salvage all the parts that you guys fucked up. And it was a whole trunk fucking build, and it was a fucking mess. Trunk didn't close, it's fucked. And he like me, and my other buddy is like, yeah, I got it. And he like goes over and he's fucking taking shit apart. The other dude's like, fuck, bro, I'm sorry, dude. Fuck, I'm sorry. And he's like, all of a sudden he's read. And I'm like, just go. Fucking, you know what? I'll see you tomorrow morning, fucking 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew I was going to be real late, and I was fucking filthy. I'd been grinding fiberglass. I was like, I'm going to drive home, and my house was a lot further than it is now. I'm going to drive the fuck home, and I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to change clothes, and I'm going to make myself some food, and then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to work on this tonight until it's fucking done. And my buddy and my girlfriend at the time were like, okay, we'll get everything ready here, and we'll get everything all cleaned up. And he was like, and I'm going to stay with you, bro. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this. And I left, and I was mad. And when I'm driving away, I was so upset. I was like a little emotional. And I was like, I'm going to get a fucking job. I was like, fuck this. And I fucking got my phone out, and I called Steve Mead. And I was like, bro, like, I'm a CAD designer. Get me a job working at that fucking roofing company doing CAD design.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dude, this shit is a fucking nightmare. I'm in here 7 days a week. I'm working fucking 12, 15, 18-hour days every single fucking day. I'm fucking broke. I can't get any worth of fuck help. Everybody just fucks up everything always. It's a fucking nightmare constantly. I'm miserable as fuck. And he's like, dude, I think about what you're doing every day, bro. I'm so envious of you. And you telling me that you're there fucking 12 hours, it sounds so fucking fantastic compared to this, dude. He's like, well, I'm walking outside because I don't want them to hear me say this. Dude, I fucking hate this. There's no fucking way. This is ridiculous. It's like half the shit they want me to do in here is the stupidest shit ever. And I'm like, well, we're over here just doing the stupidest shit ever. Like, I just don't even know, and this whole conversation. And he's like, listen, call me tomorrow. Call me 3 days in a row. And on the third day in a row that you call me and tell me you want a job, I will have you a job starting the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, I got it. I'll have you a job. They'll start you a good fuck thing. He's like, you know, I'll have you a job right away. I know you. I know how hard you work. I know how smart you are. I know you got this. And he was like, just keep calling me and I'll get you a job. But I tell you what, every time I think about something else I'd rather be doing, I think about what you're doing because you are having the dream that I've always fucking had. And I'm like, sometimes it doesn't feel like that fucking dreamy, man. And he's like, well, you know, it looks like it from here, bro. And I'm like, well, okay. And then I got home and I got my shit together. I went back and I busted my ass and I worked until like fucking 1 a.m. and I had that project fucking wrapped up and it was done. And the next afternoon, the customer picked up the car and fucking hugged and high five and paid me and tipped both of my fucking goddamn employees. I'm like, the fuck? You giving each of them $100? It's like, my buddy was like, yeah, I'll give you this. I'm like, no, just don't fuck anything up ever again. You're fired, you piece of shit. And then he did, and I fired him later, but whatever. And then it was when Colt was not around for that one, unfortunately. Would have been great. But I didn't call Steve back the next day. And I didn't call him back ever again with regards to, hey, give me a job. I definitely talked to him again a week or two later. He's like, how you doing? I'm good. And he's like, how'd everything work out that project? It was like, it was good. It was good. I worked till like 1 a.m. And he was like, that's cool. And, and I never asked him for to get me a job again. It was nice knowing that he would have fucking done it. He would have gone to bat for me to get me a fucking job, but I didn't need to. And it wasn't a whole lot long later that he had left the fucking roofing company and had his shop and was just in there fucking around. Did a little bit of fabrication install work for a few of his homies. And then it wasn't long later. And all of a sudden he's making fucking custom fuse blocks for people. And that shit just did what it did, you know?
Yeah, see, the thing of Vegas, I think it could sustain a high-end shop that still does volume, not just like a guy that does 2 installs a year.
Yeah.
But because we have a lot of athletes, young, rich people here, between athletes and young entrepreneurs and business people and stuff, there's a lot of people that have custom cars, nice fucking trucks. Like, I could see us doing a lot of truck boxes.
Yeah. I think so. I think you guys could do great and sell a bunch of Gately boxes. I think you do really well.
There's just a lot
we don't have a ton of wealthy celebrity athletes in the Sacramento area. We don't. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd say a reasonable portion of my customer base is Sacramento, but I obviously fucking Jim is from New York and Barry with the stereotype, he's from Idaho, and Brandon Lime, my buddy's out of Oregon, and you're in Vegas, you know what I mean? You came up here with your whole ass truck, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But some people, don't know. Steve paid Gately Audio to help work on that fucking truck. Obviously he did a lot of the work himself, so he didn't pay me a fucking shitload, but he paid me very reasonable money. We were in the green, and we were very happy to work on Steve's project. Hammy came out and helped. It was fucking awesome. But I
think the town could definitely sustain it, and it's we're just gonna do it and see what the fuck happens.
You just gotta
hopefully it goes well so that I can do it.
Once you're building cool shit, that'll bring the customers in. Yeah. It's because we're doing what we're doing that we're getting the customers. It's not people aren't driving around looking, be like, hey bro, I want a speaker box that fucking looks like let me see, there's a fucking thing at.
Yeah, I mean, we have some ideas on how to bring.
They're not coming in here like, yeah, dude, I want this. They're like, no. They're like, I saw the other build you did, and it looked fucking sick. And my favorite color is like orange. So could you do like an orange version of that? Then I'm like, yeah, dude. And he's like, I want it to be hella loud. And I want, the stereo type or the Soulgasm, how that thing's like super windy. That one, so it's the builds that they're looking at,
Yeah.
That is inspiring them. And in my truck, it's kind of a trip. It's got 2 sliding doors that open way up. So if we can make it so that when it's parked and it's demoing, we open that shit up and it looks fucking sick. And I'm like, oh, cool. Here it is. We're going to do a big acrylic window on each side. And we're going to,
yeah, it's going to be,
you know what I mean? Like those things that these guys want these fucking things. It's not.
There's a lot of events in Vegas that I could take the Explorer to, and literally just sit it there and play it and drum up a ton of business. Like just from these last 2 events I went to, I there was 2 or 3 basically install type jobs. Like, dude, how I need this, I need this, I need that. Who do I talk to? Like, just right there. And this was just a small show with like fucking 100 people at. And there's shows here all the time. There's a lot of people with custom cars here, like way more than I thought initially. I mean, when there was like a classic car show just last week, there was 700 cars there, just classic cars. You know, and that's one show on the same weekend I went to where there was also another 100 cars of like late model. Like there's tons, dude. There's so many like Mopars. Fucking, I don't know. Vegas, the saturation of Mopar show cars in Vegas is ridiculous, dude. There's so many Chargers and Challengers and all the new stuff.
So Wolfie, if you let me see if I can. Where the fuck is this? Build. So on the builds we do. Let me see. Where's one of these motherfuckers?
Yes, we definitely need to get the SQ shit for sure. All that's going to require buy-ins, though. I'm pretty sure, obviously.
So we make QR code stickers that go on usually on the. Let's see if you can see it here. What the fuck is this? All right, let me see. So if you see on the front edge of the back side window there's a little QR code sticker on the side of the truck. We put those on almost every one of our builds when we're going to go to an event. So the Stereotype, the Guillotine, the Soulgasm, Eruption, Monkey Box, Banging on Wheels, Slam Halen. I don't know what I'm forgetting. Any of the big custom builds we do, anytime they're going to attend a show that we know it's attending, we'll create these little badass QR code stickers. Actually, the guys at SMD make them for us. They make a lot of the stickers for us, and we'll stick those on there. And then when people are looking at the vehicles, they'll scan that, and then they're on our website. So
yeah. Oh shit, we've been going for a while. Let's cut this.
Yeah. Place. I'm going to get home, get some dinner. You know how it goes. We'll talk all goddamn night if we're not careful. Yeah. But, all right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go work on your shit. Go fix your fucking engine. Steve doesn't have a shop yet, Wolfie. That's like, me showing that we have the QR code on the builds is the direction we were going so that he, so that he understands what we're doing with it, so he could easily stick one on his build.
Yeah, I have one on the Explorer that goes straight to shitting on him. But like when we're going to use it for shop stuff, obviously, like creating a QR code is pretty easy, and then I could just cut the sticker out myself and slap it on there. But yeah, definitely, there's all kinds of marketing ideas I have. That's kind of where I think my expertise is going to come in, is the marketing side and the networking. Like, dude, like during the Raider games, they do this big tailgate section that's right outside the fucking stadium, and it costs a few $100 to get in there. But I take the Explorer in there, I park it, I fucking play music for everybody, I grill some dogs and shit, whatever, blah blah blah. I guarantee you, I'll pick up a few customers there because everybody there has expendable money. They're there on a Sunday, they've got season tickets, they're fucking there with their cool ride, and they're just. They spent $500 to be there that day. They've got a boat, they've got a bike, they've got all that shit. So
I'd say at least 50% of all hardcore football fans enjoy subwoofers.
Yeah.
So anybody that's tailgating is a super hardcore football fan. You have a 50% appreciation factor of a demo build. So how many people are out there at the fucking tailgate thing? 10,000 fucking people, easy, right? That's way more people than any shows. And yours the only fucking show car there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and people are like lining up. What the fuck is that? And they're like, oh, this is a fucking base car. So my Uncle Steve, you know my Uncle Steve, he is like, dude, we need to go to the fucking Niners game. And that's all the way down at the fucking in the Bay Area. It's 2 hours away. But I'm like, let's fucking go. You know, I'm down to do it. We could do that shit. I could actually go stay at Jason's house. Jason Polovich, he's in Milpitas. He's probably, I mean, it's probably only fucking 15 miles from the stadium, but it'd probably take an hour and a half to get there because it's goddamn Bay. But whatever, pull up, you know, drag the fucking Soulgasm out there or some shit like that. A full-on real demo monster fucking build that's doing mid 160s that like, you're like, I don't have to turn it up all the way. Like people standing at the door going, what the fuck? You know, and those people, and there'll be hundreds and hundreds of people lining up to experience that shit.
Yep.
And that's
and then some of them are gonna be like, I want exactly that. And some of them just be like, dude, I just want a couple 10s in my car, or 10 8s or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
business.
If you can build that fucking thing, then you can put 4 8s under the back seat of my truck and not have it be fucked up. Because let me show you my truck, bro, it's all fucked up. And they walk you over and you're all, Jesus. They get screws going through the back of their cab, touching the bed. They're they're like, yeah, dude, I'm driving my truck and it's all and they're making noise. The wires are all fucked up all over the place. They got like a 3-spot T-shaped distro block with 4 amps wired to it. So they're like double penetrating the fucking holes with 4 gauge. And you're like, what the fuck? And they're like, dude, I paid $9,000. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? They're like, they had my car for 4 days. They act like it's a long time. You're like, 4 days?
Yeah.
If you spend $9,000 with me, I'm gonna have your fucking car for 3 weeks. They're like, oh shit, really? I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, I kind of fucked them then. I'm like, all they had to do is say no.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and they're like, oh shit, okay.
All right, cool. Well,
I'm stoked for you. Like, do that shit. You and Dan should fucking crush that. I think it'll be amazing. Hopefully Memphis is feeling a lot better real soon. We'll hopefully be back on next. Actually, you know what? I will actually not be on next week. I will be. I'm gonna be down there in Vegas on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I have appointments the whole time I'm there, and I leave on Wednesday evening. So I literally be on a fucking plane when I'm supposed to be on the show with you. So I will be off. Please jump on and put a show together, and hopefully Memphis will be on there with you. Maybe have fucking Dan or one of the other homies jump on with you, Steve.
Yeah, it all depends on work, really. Wednesday is the first day of our member guest tournament, so it just depends what time I get out of there.
Okay.
But I'll know Wednesday or Tuesday.
So maybe make a post or something if you're not going to do something on Wednesday. But anyway, all right. Everybody fucking go fix your engine noise. Be nice to people. Work on shit. Get some shit done. And thank you guys all so much. I appreciate you. Steve, have a good one, bud.
Later, buddy.
Later.
Bye.